What's Next panel. I'm DC Group Editor Paul Kaminsky, and I am joined by some of my amazing colleagues here, the best talent in comics. We have DC Comics here. We have Mr. Scott Snyder. Joshua Williamson. Javi Fernandez. Hayden Sherman. And Jeremy Adams. All right, so who picked up DCKO, number one? All right, what y'all think? Yeah. Scott, talk to us about DCKO.
Yeah, well, first of all, we know you guys have a lot of things you could do on a Saturday, so we really appreciate you coming out and supporting us. We're so excited to talk about DCKO and really just celebrate and thank you guys. We're going to give you like tons of big reveals of everything coming afterwards. This is the panel we've been waiting for like the whole weekend. So
You're going to be really rewarded with this panel.
it's all the news, all the good stuff is in this one. You picked the right one. Yeah. We're very excited. If you haven't picked up DCKO yet, it's our big fall event. Josh and I, a year ago,
Much longer than that.
well, a year ago we launched the big initiative DC All In. It started with the DC All In #1 special, which revealed that Darkseid, after like many years of fighting the heroes in the same way, kind of over and over, decided that he needed to become something much bigger and scarier. And so he passed out of the main universe and formed the Absolute Universe, this universe that's essentially designed to fuel him and make him this incredibly monstrous cosmic force. And KO begins when he comes back to attack the main universe and starts taking it over and changing it into Apocalypse, and the heroes don't know what to do.
That's great. And so you have both helmed events at DC Comics before. What breaks this one out as different? What's the tone like on DCKO? How'd you approach this one as compared to maybe Metal or Dark Crisis?
It's really fun. Yeah. We always aim for fun, but I think with this one, it was a much bigger epic scale, and it was really about us celebrating you, to be honest. I mean, you guys have really supported what DC's been doing this last year, and so because you supported us, that allowed us to go a little more nuts with the stuff we're doing.
Yeah, and like, look, to talk really honestly with you guys, like I took some time away from DC, and Josh and I are best friends, like, you know, and he was encouraging me to come back. And what he was saying was that the culture and the climate was great, and they were really creator forward. And when we began All In, the whole idea was to really rethink some of these things, like to try and be, again, like to take big swings, to allow creators to really take some risks. And with events, we kind of rethought the way we're going to do them, right? So, look, we're all big companies. Everyone knows that we need to do events sometimes, and the purpose is you know, to get people into stores. But we really wanted to kind of recommit to the idea that we're only going to do events if we have like three things in place. One is a great story, and with this one we really believe we have it. It's sort of this huge escalation of all the stuff that we started with All In. It's this knockdown, drag out cage match that we've been waiting to do for many, many years. The second thing is if the event really states who we are as a company at this time and our priorities, and this one really does. Like Josh said, we want you to feel invited in. If you haven't been reading DC and you want to come in, everyone can read this, and it's like Saturday morning cartoons on steroids, like out of control fun. It's personal, it's about what Superman and the other characters mean to us in really tough times, but it's also just like the most unhinged, out of control shit we've done in a long time, and it's super, super fun. And the third thing, which we'll get to later in the panel, is if it sets things up. If an event should be something that on the other side of it gives us an even better version of DC. And so we'll be talking a lot about that after this. But so we really believe in this one having all those three things. And very, very proud to be a part of it with him. I can't say enough good things. This guy has been like, not only a best friend, you know, having a better friend than this guy, but not only that, but he's been like doing such amazing work at DC for so long and been an architect for a long time, and him inviting me in to do this together, we're having such a blast, because we genuinely love working together, we love working with these guys, and I can't say enough good things about Javi. I've been dying to work with him forever. He's exploding on this book, you know, and again, DC has just been nothing but supportive. I keep waiting for the call from Jim Lee that's like,
Can't do that.
Can't do that. And he actually came to my house a couple of weeks ago, and I wasn't sure what it was about, and I was sure it was like I was getting fired. And we were not doing it.
we were speculating. We were going back and forth, like, what was about this? What was about this? Like, why is Jim driving to your house?
I was
This is in the middle of nowhere.
I do. I live like off the grid almost in like the woods with deer and raccoons, and I'm like, why is he coming here? Where am I next thing? And then he showed up, and he was honestly just like, we want to say like we want to do more of what we're doing, and we love who we are right now as a company, and I can't say enough about him and Anne and Marie and everybody at the company right now really being supportive, especially also editorial. We have incredible editors, Paul and Rob and Brittany and everybody there. It's been unbelievable. So I don't shill for DC. I promise I'm not like, I don't come out and say, oh, it's amazing when it's not. But it is the best time I've ever had in superhero comics, and I'm grateful and proud to be a part of this company right now. We have such good stuff to show you. Yeah.
It's really hard to work with Scott and not get crazy hyped about everything all the time. Because you'll get into a room with him, and then he will make these amazing speeches at the ending. You're like, can I cuss here? Is that right? There's a couple things, right?
There's no children allowed.
Yeah, no children. After Scott will talk at the end, you can't help feel the like, yeah, every time. So it's always really exciting to work with Scott and do all these fun things with him.
Yeah, and of course, none of this would be possible without amazing art from Javi Fernandez. Earlier in the show, we had some of our first projects at DC together. It feels like a homecoming and being able to work with you again. Talk to us about how you approached KO. Who are your favorite characters to draw?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry for my English. I didn't expect so many people like this, so I am a little bit nervous. So, well, it's hard to explain it. Sorry. I remember our video call for the project, so Pepe was there too, so this is a big help for the translations and this. So I remember when we end the call, we were speak together, and my question is, what's that? It sounds big, it sounds so exciting, but in the first attempt, I didn't understand so much, but I remember my feeling is, wow, this is so exciting, but I don't know what is coming.
That's how we feel.
Who's your favorite character to draw in the? Because you're drawing everybody, pretty much.
Lobo. I really like Lobo. I took a photo of myself for the bracket.
Oh, that's you?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, look at these.
See, my photo board is all of photos of myself with the gestures and the reference. So it's so funny.
Yeah. So this is the bracket. So this is 32 characters competing in the DC KO tournament. So we're going to talk about the bracket here in just a little bit. But these are characters from across the DC universe, both heroes and villains. And the whole fun of this, the point of this, is to have that conversation that we have in comic shops all the time, like who would win in a fight. So we're going to do that in a story, in a big event story, and really break it out and go big. Scott and Josh, deciding on the bracket characters, how do you even pick 32 from DC characters?
Oh, it was hard. There's so many. I know everyone has a favorite character, and some aren't in there, but there are also some surprises about characters that make their way in weird ways and all of this stuff. So every issue we want you to be guessing what's going to happen. But the idea of the bracket is essentially, as the world, you're not reading or you haven't picked up KO yet, just to give you sort of a sense of how this tournament works. As Darkseid approaches, he's changing our universe into Apocalypse. And the heroes have the idea of maybe we can harness the machine at the heart of Apocalypse, which is now in the Earth, to change one of us into a cosmic being as strong and powerful as him. Because otherwise we have no hope. They've explored every timeline in the future and they just can't defeat him. There is no future anymore, there's only him. And so the idea is, this heart, this apocalyptic machine that's forming at the center of the Earth only responds to Omega energy, which is the energy of conquest, which powers Darkseid. And so the heroes realize, if they're gonna do this and it's gonna crown one of them champion and turn them into something as powerful as Darkseid, they have to fight each other with no mercy. And so it creates these different levels. There's 5 different levels as they get closer and closer to the heart. Each one is almost its own reality of like a cage match. There's all kinds of fun things, like we have, I don't even want, we'll spoil it later. But it's just nonstop kind of who is going to take down whom. And the heroes sign up for it because they're like, the only way to win is the question, like, do you become your enemy to save the universe? So it's the most fun, out of control thing that I've gotten a chance to write. I mean, it's up there with death metal, and metal has that same ethos, but it's a lot more, it's sort of a lot more buoyant and robust and has way more characters, and it's just that. So that's the bracket. The bracket is really like, we want you guys to go to stores like Final Four style and be like, FanDuel style, but don't actually bet real money, and be like, or do, just don't tell us. And go there and have those conversations, because again, if there are any retailers in the audience, part of our ethos right now at DC also is, a lot of us, like Josh and I we really try and call you guys and say, what do you think of this beforehand? And so the idea that so many of you were like, let's do it, let's have a big fight, but make it fun. It's not about like, these heroes are fighting like Civil War style over big political issues or over this. They're literally trying to take each other down to become champion so that one of them can become a giant cosmic monster and defeat Darkseid. Which for us was like, that's it. That's what I want to read right now in this climate. So yeah, that's the bracket. We want you in there guessing. I think the bracket challenge is awesome, which we can talk about, but we want you in stores and we want things there that just get you excited about the direction of DC.
Giant cosmic monster is on my business card, actually. That's how I greet myself. Speaking of buoyancy, Jeremy Adams, head of Aquaman. Jeremy, so Aquaman, obviously we've been teasing an Omega connection since the beginning of that series. So Aquaman and Green Lantern, they're going to have some stuff to do in this tournament. Can you talk a little bit about your approach to building Aquaman into like an Omega fight, like building him up these past?
I think what Josh and Scott are doing is so infectious. And Josh knows this very well. Like, I am happy to try to play around the edges as much as I can, or join in any way I can. And so the kind of the conceit of Darkseid infecting the universe with Omega energy was really cool. And it felt like to me that would infect the primordial forces that are in the DC universe. And so if you've been reading Aquaman, you know that he's become an avatar of something that's called like the Blue, and he's really become OP in a way. I mean, it's crazy how powerful he is. But that element of this elemental force being corrupted, I think, is messing with him as well. So as he goes into this tournament, he's not a little let's talk a fish guy. He's like kind of super scary in terms of how powerful he is. This has really become kind of a Conan the Barbarian underwater thing.
Yeah.
And Paul going, this is really fantasy. I'm like, yes, it is. I need to watch Beastmaster again. Like, so that's kind of what's happening. And with the Green Lantern Corps, I think you're going to have. We just finished up the Starbreaker Supremacy on that, and there's a lot of core members, so there's lots of people to choose from. Obviously, Guy is having a moment, not just in movies, and he's going to be in this, and I love him to death. So it's really exciting to see where they go. I remember getting the issue 1 of DCKO, and I'm like, oh yeah, I was sure this will be good, because I'm always negative. And then I read it, like, crap, this is really good. And it's exciting, because when I was a kid and you got Secret Wars and different things, you got totally pumped for it. So I'm excited for all the toys that are going to come out of this. I'm trying to explain to my wife where those credit card charges are coming out.
Hey, we want some DCKO toys, right? More specifically, I want some DCKO toys, and please, toys. So let's talk about the bracket. Let's do a bit of revealing today. So today's a spoilery panel. If anyone is sensitive, hide under your chair or proceed to your nearest exit now, because we're going to spoil some stuff. So today we're going to reveal the next round of the All Fight Month. But before we do that, I just want Josh, can you describe to us, as the architect of the All Fight Month, what does that mean? It's December of this year, is that not?
December, yeah. So we were getting into what is going to be the third round of KO, and this is our biggest one-on-one fights. And Scott and I were trying to figure out how to make these fights really unique and different. And we were in my office, and I had this giant whiteboard. We were mapping out everything. If anyone came into my office, they saw this giant whiteboard. We know everything DC's doing for like 3 years. We had this whole map of trying to figure who's going to fight who. And we were trying to figure out how to make these fights really unique and different. And we figured out this thing where it was best 2 out of 3. So we get to see all these characters fight, and they actually get to really beat the crap out of each other and really go for it to see who can win these fights. And so in that issue, we took a break between issues 2 and issue 3 for the month of December, where all those fights, those big one-on-one battles that are really big and brutal fights to take place across those 8 books. And that's what we're about to reveal to you, what those fights are actually going to be.
And by the way, 2 out of 3 means if you die, once at the first round you come in as who you are.
Yeah.
But then after the first round, you can respawn as any version of yourself from continuity. So, there's some real thing. You don't just come back as yourself and fight again. You can come back as like any version of yourself, and you don't know what your opponent is going to come back as.
Yeah, can I say?
Yeah, dude, you know me.
He's a role.
I can tell who Captain Adam becomes.
All right, let's do the first one. We got Clark. Can you roll? All right, here's the first one. And it is versus Captain Adam. There we go. So this is never before seen everywhere. This is exclusive to this panel and the variant covers on the next one.
As an example, can I say who Captain Adam becomes in this?
Yeah.
So for all my fellow DC nerds, he comes back as Monarch.
Yeah, the fucking battle! That guy, dude!
Yeah, so that just gives you an example of how bonkers these things get, like the fights when they decide. And it's actually really fun. We had a lot of talks about who these characters were going to come back as, who does Superman come back as, and who does, when people lose, they get to choose from any version of themselves ever in continuity. And there was a lot of conversations about who they were going to be.
People really embrace. Jeremy, you went nuts, dude. Yours was awesome.
So, Jeremy revealed the next one? Jeremy, do you want to talk about the next one? All right, who's Aquaman fighting?
Microphone, sorry. He's fighting a microphone. Hawkman. As you know, in my book, I've been really seeding a lot of Hawk things because somebody needs to do a Hawk book. Not me, but somebody needs to do it. And I'm very excited about it.
Where's the Hawkman fans? Was a medium intensity, I would say.
Passionate. Very passionate.
All right, what's next? After the variants, all right, Scott, you want to do the next one? Who's Wonder Woman fighting?
Oh, this one's fun.
Tom King.
We should have done that. I want to go back to the drawing board.
No, Wonder Woman's Lobo.
We had creators like fighting over who gets to do that one.
It's written by Joel Jones, art by Jason Howard. By the way, all these all-fight covers are by the amazing Jorge Corona. Yeah. So, by the way, go back to that slide, Clark, real fast. So just keep in your brain for later in the panel, just think about that image, that artist drawing one of those characters, and we'll come back to that. So that's just an Easter egg for everybody. But let's reveal the next one. We have Cyborg. And who is Cyborg fighting? Scott.
He's fighting, it sounds like me. He's fighting Swamp Thing.
John Layman and Pete Woods in the pages of the Titans book. And then we're just going to keep burning through these here because the next one's Harley Quinn. That's Harley Quinn. Josh, do you want to take this one?
Versus Zatanna. We're so happy you guys are liking this. You know,
It was the same thing with like Absolute, where you're like in a corner and you're like, does anybody think this is as awesome as we do? We just, we loved it. It's like, let's go for it.
All right, and the next one here we have Jay Garrick. Where's my Jay Garrick fans? Jay Garrick versus.
Oh shit!
somebody guess that?
No.
Amen.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And then Hayden, you got the next one.
You want to do this one? All right.
Hayden, who is Lex Luthor fighting?
Lex Luthor versus the Demon.
Yeah! Written by Doug Wilson and drawn by Hayden Sherman. Hayden, talk to us about Lex Luthor versus
Hey, they try my-
Challenge not accepted. No, it's a full out between a man with all of his many machines, his many forms that he'll get to choose from. Very exciting. And I mean, a demon from hell. I mean, like, he's amazing. The Demon's one of my favorite Jack Kirby creations, and getting to see him just go wild on this bald man is fantastic.
This fight is really, really brutal.
It is.
Yeah. Somebody loses their head.
Serious.
Now, Hayden, you spent a lot of time in hell lately. Absolute wonder.
Why do you get Is there something I should be reading?
In Absolute Wonder Woman, and now you're back in hell again. Are you okay?
So far, so good.
Okay, good. I'm just happy to hear that. But it's going to be really exciting to see you draw that issue of Superman. So that's Superman number 33, right, Josh? 33. And we're really, really excited for that one. And so then we have one more of the 8. And this is for Scott and Josh.
Yeah,
On this one, who is Red Hood fighting?
of course, it has to be Joker. This fight is. I did get the note from Rob Logan that was like, it was like a little too violent. I was like, Jason has a lot of pent up anger about this, and I know, like the thing is, he's faced the Joker at different times, but this is actually, in one obstacle. Can I spoil like what? Okay, in round 2 when he respawns, he comes back as Robin to fight him. He comes back to kick your ass and do a redo of Death in the Family.
We actually, so one of the things is each round they're in a location the heart creates for them. And when they have that fight, they're in the warehouse.
It was like the heart of the puzzle. It's like the referee of this thing is really mean.
It's kind of
really mean.
So every time they're in a new fight, they're in a location that is personal to them. And so when they do fight each other there, they go all the way back to that scene and they're in the warehouse together.
And of course, Joker kind of foresees that and picks himself from that same thing. So he's like, let's do it, bring it on.
You get to see that fight. And then they have a whole other form after that that will really surprise people, I think.
Yeah, but it's also like, not to get corny, but each of these ones we also wanted to be a pretty deep, fun, but also meaningful exploration of the characters. So it's all about why Red Hood chose the moniker of the Red Hood, and I think it'll surprise you a bit too. It ties into stuff that Hayden and Dan Waters did on Dark Patterns and all kinds of stuff. And just pause for a second. I just want to tip my hat to Hayden for a second, who came in.
Yeah.
Hayden, I got to work with in the Create Your Own space before he came over to DC. They came over to DC, and then immediately they took on one of the most challenging tasks possible, Absolute Wonder Woman, and knocked it out of the park and makes it absolutely and continues to just nonstop. Yeah. Oh, speaking of.
Here's a spoiler, if you didn't read DCKO #1, I'm so sorry. But there were some other surprise appearances in DCKO. There are. Yeah.
Those are some familiar boots.
Yeah. Darkseid has 4 horsemen.
Yeah, and 3 of them.
Figures there. Who's the 4th?
Yeah, but it is, so again, we love that you guys are so into the Absolute Universe. We couldn't be more grateful. All of us are having a blast with it. But again, the Absolute Universe is created by Darkseid to fuel him. And so in this we won't tell you how, but the Trinity of the Absolute Universe do come in a special way as destroyers of Darkseid for one moment. So we're very excited to show you that. It's a really, really big story point in it. And it talks a lot about the danger of what the Absolute Universe could become.
We threw everything into this project, everything, all the cool stuff. It is all there, including, obviously Batman has a huge role here. Batman has a little bit of an incident.
Yeah. Everyone read the first issue?
Yeah.
You saw what happened, yeah. So everyone thought Batman was going to win, and Batman is taken out in the first issue.
Yeah, that's going to leave some kind of mark. But anyway, but his journey does not stop there. In fact, his journey is so expansive in DCKO, he got his own series, DCKO Night Fight, which will follow the journey of Batman going through his own trial and reconnect with the series later on. Now, that is written by Josh Williamson and by the wonderful Dan Morris. So for that, I'm gonna switch it back here.
Describe it as Last Chance Bat Kitchen.
Yeah, it was
Batman watches,
Top Chef's last chance kitchen for Batman to try to find his way back in. But the Heart definitely throws a completely different challenge down where every issue he's going up against one of the Robins as if they became Batman. But the thing is, they're all better Batman than him. And and so he has to essentially work his way through that. And we revealed some of the characters in it, but there's gonna be a lot more. There's a lot more surprises. We just wanna make sure you're surprised when you get there. There's a lot of people asking us about certain characters, and my answer to you is wait for issue 3. Each issue is really, I was talking to Dan last night about it and walking him through the whole thing, and then we got to issue 4, and I was explaining the end of 3 and what happens in 4, and Dan was like, "You're trying to make me cry." And I was like, it's gonna be this major fight, but a fight for Batman isn't always this fight. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of fights, but this challenge is different because it's making Batman confront something. The idea that these children he's been raising could be better than him, does that mean that maybe it's time for him to step aside? What does that mean for him? The heart really is trying to mess with Batman in a completely different way. Because part of the thing is, I'm just gonna spoil this. So Batman actually kind of cheated. So that's part of why some things are happening, is the heart saw that Batman was trying to cheat. Yeah, if you read the first issue, there's that scene with Bruce, Diana, and Clark, and they're having a game night. And that theme of the game night is really important to all of the issues. And the stuff they're saying, you'll see, will really add up as the series going on.
We come back to the game night every issue, and more is revealed about what they said that night, and how it ties in, and how there's like secrets all about it too. But yeah, Batman tried to cheat, now he's being punished, and it's great.
And it's awesome. Fights with Gamora is on every page, and even the designs you guys have seen that are out there, those aren't off the final designs. There's definitely some twists and turns coming that we really do want to surprise you with this book. There's a lot of fights in it, but there's a lot of really big emotional moments too.
That is it's honestly it's the book. I mean,
You wanted to write it.
I did.
It's the whole thing.
No, I was gonna actually, I did, because he pitched, he was telling me how good it was, and I was like, maybe we can go write it. I have enough Batman. But really what it is it's one of my favorite Batman stories in a long time, regardless of KO. I mean, it's awesome the way it ties into KO, but it really is extremely powerful and like bombastic, out of control fun, but also a really probing kind of, examination of like Batman going on this odyssey of like, what if he never thinks about, what would my children be if they became Batman? And even like ones you've seen, like Dick has been Batman, but not this way. Now Dick is Batman for a long time, and it's what he would really do if he'd been Batman for a long time. Similarly, like you've seen Damian be Batman briefly in Batman 666, but a lot's happened to Damian since then. And now if he were Batman, maybe he'd be a little different.
It's very different.
Very different. Yeah. So it really is kind of him staring in the mirror about like, maybe I should let them go and not go back. And it's great. I mean, he's doing such a killer job. It's better than I could do, so I love it.
Thank you, I appreciate that, but yeah, you should have wrote it.
So we have another debut here, another reveal. This time written by Mr. Jeremy Adams. So this is going to be a new one-shot that's coming out in January, I believe. DCKO, The Kids Are All Fight. Jeremy, talk to us a little bit about this special.
I'm desperate to do anything with these young people in the DC universe as far as like writing them and having them take part in adventures. The Goonies in me just wants to do stuff like that. So they came to me and said, hey, we want to give you a kind of a quirky cavalcade of misfits that have to be kind of babysat by John Kent on the Watchtower, but of course they don't want to be babysat, and they will go on their own adventure despite what Donna Troy tells them to do. So it's a cool adventure, and it surrounds a couple of characters that I've loved playing with in the past, and the Flash books and Jay Garrick book, and getting to write John Kent again, and it's really, really fun. It's just a fun adventure. Like if you like explorers and Flight of the Navigator, like things that are like that kind of vibe, that's really what this is.
That's right. So that's the DCKO portion of this panel, but we wanted to talk about what all of this is leading to. So at DC, we've been telling those who've been following periodical comics for a while, you'll notice that we have been telling a meta story for a while, even before All In. Pages of Absolute Power by Mark Waid and Dan Mora too. And all of this is leading to our next big initiative, which we are excited in front of you all today in this room to debut. We are going to be talking about the next initiative, and Scott Snyder, do you want to introduce it?
Yeah, we're so thrilled. I mean, one of the things that and Josh has been so grateful about being at DC right now is when we've had success, like, you guys gave us a banner year this last year. What everybody at DC, Ann and Jim and Marie and everyone there feel like is we're going to reinvest and be additive and try and make the line even better on the other side. And so it felt like, look, like I said earlier, like the only reason to do an event, or there are 3 big reasons, right? But one of those is like if on the other side you can do special stuff in the line. And so we looked at it and we were like, look, you know, we have these characters that are fan favorites that we love that sometimes don't always get the spotlight. Let's do a massive initiative where we bring in some of the best creators in comics. We also invest in some of your favorites that are working for us now, and we also bring in some legends that haven't been with us in a while to really do some kick-ass, amazing stories on some of your favorite characters that don't always get like time in the spotlight. And so we're calling it DC Next Level. And so it rolls right out of KO. There's story connection, obviously, like so you read KO and you'll see. But these are books also that we wanted to be like, same way with Absolute, you can pick up and you can just read from Go and they'll be your favorite stories with these characters, where we're allowing creators to take big swings, to show you why these characters are awesome, why they love them, and to just do some of the best books on the stand. And we just think that DC's only gonna get better and better and better, and we're so, so excited about it.
So this is DC Universe core line, and in continuity, although highly accessible books, and that's really the ethos of all of this. You know, taking a cue from your amazing Absolute line and everybody else, Chris Conroy, and Katie and Andrew, everybody who works on that. These are accessible books. Like you really don't have to know who these characters are to pick them up. Although, if you're fans, it's kind of nice. And let's see some of those names up there, please, Clark. Whoa. I mean, yeah, you can just keep them rolling.
Wow.
We'll get to yours in just a minute. We'll get to yours.
We are literally spoiling everything, you guys in this room.
It's okay.
Thank you. So we're going to be exploring these characters. Like these are some of our favorites at DC Comics too, and we're going to be working with some of our favorite creators as well. And surely we don't have a slide for that, Clark. So talk to us about how we assembled this mighty crew here, guys. Do you want to talk a little bit about the how we've been pitching this initiative to the talent and what the imaginative visions of these characters?
I mean, part of it was going on and saying, what do you want to do?
It literally was. I mean, I think you guys are really smart, and it feels like this moment in comics, one of the things that's making it so exciting is that you're responding to things that feel organic and passionate and from creators. We see it in our books, we see it with the Energon universe, the Ultimate universe, and all kinds of stuff. Sorry to mention any other companies, but it's true. I know, but what it seems that you guys are picking up and loving are when creators come in and you can feel the energy that these are characters they've wanted to do, whether those are Transformers or they're Batman or they're this or that. And so we just went out to creators that we love, some of whom are already here, some of whom haven't been here in a while, some of whom we've never worked with at all, like Scotty and James Herron and these, and we're like, what do you want to do? And so these are their passion projects. Again, they're in continuity, they're super accessible. You can pick it up if you've never read anything about these characters, and if you love these characters, it is absolutely true to core. So that's what it was. It was about keeping this ethos going that you guys seem to love in Absolute and in the main universe, and bringing that to like the core line. So it's almost like the ethos of the Absolute universe brought to the core line in continuity, where we're trying to really reinvest in these characters through creators that we really believe in, and we just can't wait for you guys to see it. It's so epic. Like, these books are gonna be so good. We can't wait. Like, I'm not bullshitting you. Like, the same way we were like the Absolute line, and the same way with like, you know, when Jeremy's on Aquaman, all this stuff, and you're like, this is gonna be awesome. These are going to be awesome and blow your mind. And I just think the exciting thing about DC is like nothing's going away. We're not taking, that's not a shot at anyone, but we're not taking away from the line with our success. We're not closing the absolute universe. There's no plans for that. That will not happen. But Nick and I literally have plans to like issue 35, which takes you all the way through, whatever. Is we're going a long time on all that. But what we are doing is we're reinvesting and being additive. That was what's so exciting when Jim came out. He was like, we want to put more money and this stuff and resources back into making awesome comics and making DC better every year. And that's what's so fun to see about it.
Could we bring out one of the creative teams that's working on one of these books? Can we do that? Hey, Saturday, New York Comic Con. All right, I'd like to welcome onto the stage right now two of those creators, the amazing pairing of Greg Rucka and Danny. I knew there were too many chairs up here. All right, Greg, tell us, what book are you working on, Danny?
I'm doing Zatanna.
Oh.
Danny's drawing that one.
Let's see, there we are.
News to me.
All right, Greg, you're coming back to Batwoman.
Yeah.
Talk to us about
17 years after the fact. Yeah, we're doing Batwoman. Batwoman #1 coming in March. And Danny's drawing it and it's gonna blow your fucking mind.
It's so good. Danny, how are you approaching the visual tone on this series?
It's interesting. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to answer in Greek. Sorry about my English, by the way. If anyone is Greek here, Yasu. Yeah, the funny thing is that, can we say where it's based?
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be based in Greece. So I don't think I'm the perfect person to do that. And Batwoman is going to have some changes. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's shaking things up. And it's starting in a very dark place, and it'll only go down from there. So, the first 5 are going to be something of a wild ride. But yeah, you can see we've got some Kate and her sister, Alice, also known as Beth, and it's a story that I wanted to tell way back in the day, but you can't. You can never go home again. So the world moves on, and so did this story. So and then Danny and I had been sort of flirting with working together for years.
It's been a while now.
And it all came together on this, and it's a Murderers Row creative team. Danny's on art, Matt Hollingsworth is doing colors, Hassan Atsami Alhau is our letterer, Rob Levin, and James, whose last name I always get wrong, James Reed, are our editors, and yeah, it's weird because I don't want to give anything away.
Oh, give it away for the people. No, what brings you back to?
Well, one of them dies
Oh,
in the
no?
first issue, so there's your biggest spoiler.
Oh, give that away.
Dude, yeah, I told you. Look, I was prepared to talk about Zatanna, and
What draws you back to that character? What connects you to that character?
oh, I mean, come on. There are a handful of characters at DC that pretty much anybody dangles in front of me, and I'll like sit up in bed like a puppy.
And Firestorm head over here.
Oh yeah, absolutely no. No offense. But Kate's one of them, and there was always more to do there. And when I left unceremoniously in 2009, it was unresolved, and that meant those stories weren't resolved. So, you know, and for a writer, and I think all the writers will agree, like when you have the story and it's in your head and you have to walk away from it for whatever reason, that doesn't mean the story goes away. It just stays there going, what about me? And for 17 years, having somebody going, what about me? In the back of my head is kind of a pain. So mostly this is an exorcism. It's about me, it's not about entertaining you. Let's make this clear. I have conned DC into resolving my issues. And aren't I clever? And stupid for admitting it on a panel.
We're not licensed for that. That seems, all right, so you've been working with Scott about where this fits, into the Next Level initiative. Scott, where does, you've obviously, you and Batman are close personal friends, but Batwoman, is an integral character in that franchise. So to you, where do you see Batwoman in that Next Level pantheon? Like, what our approach, like, where does Batwoman fit in here and in the universe at large?
Well, she's not only like one of the best fighters in the DCU, but she's also one of the best ethical and moral fighters, in the DCU. And again, like I'm lucky enough to call Greg a friend, but to be sitting on a panel with him, and obviously Danny, but I mean, for Greg has been a legend in my life and my absolute, there's no writer I put above him, and like him and Grant and those people that, made me want to write comics. And so to be able to be at DC at the same time as him now, and us getting to work on things that we're excited about in the same breath, it's actually really means a lot to me. So it's very humbling. So it's wonderful not only to have him back and working on such a special character to him, but just telling an awesome story, and to have Danny, who's she knows how much I love her work. We talked offline, but again, it's just going to blow your mind. So we can't wait for Kate to come back and have this big center stage. It's going to be awesome.
Greg is one of my favorite comic book writers of all time, and I waited in line for his autograph many, many times, like many books. And when I was much younger, no offense, I guess, but Greg would always write these amazing notes inside the books. And even when you didn't know me and I was just some kid in line, you always wrote these amazing notes inside the comics when I would sign. I remember there was one, I got Wonder Woman Hecate signed by you, and you wrote a note and said, always believe in her. And I'll always remember that. And there's something about Greg that I noticed a long time ago, that I noticed you did on the panel today. Greg always calls the characters by their first name. And I always noticed that about you.
Yeah.
Whenever we're there, we would talk about Wonder Woman, you would always call her Diana. And there was something about that with you that always stuck with me. And you did it again today.
Mm-hmm.
And it says something so much about Greg, who loves these characters and treats these characters as people. And it always means a lot to me.
Yeah, Danny, so Danny, talk to us about your working relationship, how it's been developing the story with Greg on that one.
Personal, yeah.
We're not going to talk about that in public.
No, we are, I really enjoy and appreciate when the writers and all the creators are really in tune and you can talk like you talk to a friend. And I think this is how you make great work and great comics. If you enjoy it, and it gets personal. So
It is.
it is like that.
It's a collaborative medium, and for many of us, for me, it must be, because you don't want to see what I draw. Because you guys would all need therapy. So the collaboration has just been phenomenal. I mean, we had breakfast before coming over, and Danny has an idea for a group of our villains and a costuming idea, and literally between the start of breakfast and getting here, it had evolved into a ranking system among them. Like, it's going to be part of the visual language of the book, and it's probably going to be a fairly subtle thing. Like, you guys all being very intelligent and gifted comics readers will pick up on it instantly. But, for the people who clearly are not as smart as you, they're going to be like, I'm not sure why this is going on.
Not in this room.
Yeah, obviously. Obviously not you. We're talking about the people who didn't come to this panel. But, for me, the beauty of this medium and the reason that I love comics and the reason I keep coming back to comics no matter what else I'm doing is the nature of the collaboration.
Yes.
And when it works, you end up with something that's magic because you create something that is literally more than the sum of its parts. And this lady's magic, so.
You are magic.
No, Greg's a ghost. He said that earlier. He had unfinished business. So we, speaking of collaboration, you know, we've been planning on this initiative for a long time. I'll tell very quick. So we had a creative summit, and you should see Greg Rucka in the creative summit because we'll all be talking and we'll be throwing like ideas around, and Scott and Josh and everybody. And then in the back of the room, Greg will be like, "You need a bigger threat for your third act." Just like cut through it all. And we're like, oh yeah, that's what we were missing. So thank you, Greg. Wonderful collaboration.
That's what that was, not Fred's a pain in the ass. Okay, you're welcome.
So should we reveal another book? I heard Scott wanted to talk about this one, although you're not working on it directly. This is a passion one. This is one you're very excited about.
I am. I was so bad. I pushed them so hard to reveal like all of them. I'm not gonna do it. But you will be hearing about them month after month. We'll keep revealing like different ones, and we have ones that aren't even on here yet. So we can't wait for you guys to see. But it really is a commitment to making the best books on the stands with the best creators and just letting them really take their swings. And I think that'll be apparent from the very first page of each of these books.
Yeah. So we have one. Why don't you, Scott, since you're the main man?
Mm-hmm.
Want to reveal the next book?
Yeah, this is a special one for us, like, because Lobo is a character that we've been hoping to do a series with for a very long time. We wanted to work with just the perfect creative team for that. And Scotty is one of our close friends, but he is not a huge Lobo fan, has drawn him, but he has not worked at DC, I think, ever. Right? In his 26 years, 27 years in comics. And he was like, I will come over if I get to do Lobo and this, and I can work with Jorge, who's amazing. And so this series is exactly the ethos again, the same way what Greg and Danny are gonna do on Batwoman. It's absolutely kind of creator driven. This is the same thing, but it is the most over-the-top, bombastic, badass main man series you could possibly imagine by someone who loves the character at the absolute maximum level. So we can't wait for you to see. It's going to be such a special one. So really, really thrilled.
Really excited about that. And Josh, you were the last one really to be spending a lot of time with Lobo in the book in Superman. What was some of your experience with that character that is going to be feeding into like this whole ethos of Lobo? Like what is it that inspires you about writing that character?
Oh, I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble right now.
Oh, really?
I mean, he's the baddest I met in DC, right? Like, and he's really fun to write. And you're gonna like, listen. I went to Scotty while I was in the middle of writing him for House of Brainiac. I went to Scotty. I ran into San Diego Comic-Con. I've known that Scotty has wanted to write Lobo his entire career. And so I went to him and I was like, Scotty, it's time. Like, it's time. He was like, I know, I want to. It took us a minute to get there, but here we are, and it's gonna be really, really fun.
He came to me right after he saw me. He was like, I think Scotty's in. I was like, what?
Yeah. I read Paul at dinner, and I was like, I think we're gonna do it. And every step of the way, I was like, I think he's finally gonna do it. And here we are, and it's going to be rad.
And all these creators are like that. Like Tony Fleeks, I mean, like, again, like his amazing work, and he's ready to just explode. And James Herron.
Yeah.
I mean, like, wait till you see what, we can't say what he's doing yet, but it's gonna blow your mind.
We're gonna be revealing these more in the coming weeks and months, so keep your eyes peeled there. And no, you? We're gonna talk about yours. Are we? I don't know. What does the slide say? Is it? No.
We're doing what? If you've been reading Superman, and if you know me, you know how much I love it, right? Hey, prime time, right? I think you all know I really, really love Legion of Superheroes. And I think this is going to be one of the biggest challenges I've ever done at DC Comics. It's going to be a really big a project that I'm working on. I'm very, very excited about it, and we'll be talking about them more in the future.
In the future?
In the future.
That's a fun because they're from the future.
Yeah, but it's very much a passion project for me. I really love these characters a lot. And if you're reading Superman, you can see that. I don't think it's a secret. I think while reading Superman, you'll probably guess this is what I would be doing next. I'm very excited about it. But again, yeah, we'll talk way more about this in the future.
He's been talking about Legion for years, even before he was on Superman. So this is like the not only the culmination of it, but like just an inevitable, amazing thing.
I had to call Mark Wade and sort of ask him for permission. And I remember when I called Mark, you know, and I've been a huge fan of Mark for a long time, but when I called Mark and I told him, and I started asking questions, talking about it, he said this thing to me, he said, it was always going to be you.
Oh.
He knew. He was like, I was really happy.
Talk about being anointed.
Yeah, oh, the,
I mean, really, it's like,
Greg,
go in Legion.
real scary.
It'd be great if it was like a Zoom call and no one knew who he was talking to. But one of the great things is all of this rolls out of KO. KO is this, you know, massive event, and it's really fun, but it's 5 issues. It's like, it's now, and it's happening. And this stuff launches in March. It starts really soon, and we're just gonna keep rolling it out all the way through the year. So this year, we want to just be the best year of DC Comics, and in many years, and just keep building on all your guys' support and enthusiasm.
Every month you're gonna get one of these books, two of these books in some cases. It's gonna be an awesome year next year.
And I want to just say really quickly, before we start to wrap up here, I just want to hear a round of applause for Joshua Williamson. Josh has been the beating heart of DC Comics now for years, and it's amazing what he does. And it really, all right, thank you all so much. It's been an amazing year for DC. Check out KO. Get ready for more Next Level. Thank you, New York Comic Con, and Justice for People.